Behind this door lies the secrets to Diablo 3's Season 28. No, I'm just kidding. It's just my newly put together LAN center that I literally put together just in time for Season 28. Okay, sure, this is really for my family, for us to hang out together and play video games together, but I'm also really stoked because Season 28 is right around the corner and I've got a group of friends that are going to physically get together in this room. I've got a computer for 4 people for the whole team. It's going to be sick. I'm super pumped. I put a lot of work into this. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I really I don't know how many hours I've spent in here on each computer nitpicking little tiny things, but I get a little bit obsessive about little things with computers sometimes, and not all of them are completely perfect to what I want, but I've got little tiny parts still coming from Amazon and stuff to finish off the little pieces. But we've got my wife's gaming station here, which has a little bit of a Gundam theme, I guess you could say. It's like a white theme, a little bit of it. I had this Gundam motherboard, so I just went a little bit Gundam style on there. Well, that's not what I meant to say. Gundam. It sounds like Gangnam Style, the song. Anyway, making this video too long by blabbing. Here's my son's computer. This is his birthday present he just got recently. It's pretty awesome. Kind of hard to see because it's very dark in there. So one of the things I want to do is add some more lights inside this crazy Inwin D-frame case. But it has a lot of cool colors inside. It's like a special edition video card and motherboard. A lot of orange stuff going on. I thought it'd be cooler to do this in the dark because of all the lights, but this is not a good example. Here's my system and kind of like a gold theme in there with a custom water loop. And here's my daughter's computer, and I think this is actually my favorite out of the group. I got this computer like this it's a long story. You can look at our other videos, but it's through a bankruptcy, and it was already wrapped like this with the Kirby. And it was very boring and very bland inside, and I just redid all the fans and everything to make it all pink and very bright. It's insanely bright. And then I even found this little Kirby gif of him eating noodles, and I thought that was hilarious. I put that on the NZXT water cooler. So she's pumped. She's super pumped. And tonight was one of the first nights that I was like, we could actually play because the computers were done. So we played some Hearthstone, and my daughter and my son actually got matched up against each other through BattleNet. Just not trying to play against each other, but they clicked the join game at the same time. But it wasn't like they were. I think there's a button inside of Hearthstone that lets you duel each other. It wasn't duel. It was literally like just regular BattleNet. So anyway, let's move into the video talking about Diablo. But I thought that some of you guys out there that are probably just as nerdy as me, especially you dads out there, because a lot of you have probably been playing Diablo since like Diablo 1, and you might be parents now, and this might just be fun for you to live vicariously through me. But anyway, let's jump to me on my computer. So before I move into the Diablo part, I also wanted to share with you guys, this is my main rig that I actually game on a regular basis in my office. So this thing is badass. It has an RTX 4090, an i9 13900K, and a bunch of other crazy stuff I won't get into. I'm gonna have a whole video for this build if you ever want to get into that. But I just want to remind you guys that the reason why I have all this crazy computer stuff, a lot of it I got for free, some of it I got for really cheap. The reason is because I own a computer company, and this channel is for our business. And we not only do I get a lot of things for a good price, but we specialize in selling factory refurbished equipment, video cards, motherboards, all that stuff. We also build custom PCs. So if you're just thinking I'm just like some rich dude that bought all this stuff off of Amazon, because I did mention Amazon earlier, I was talking about like buying like a cable, for a keyboard or something just to get the colors right. But most of this stuff comes from our business, and if you're looking for a hookup, feel free to reach out. Anyway, let's talk about Diablo. Alright, what's going on, everyone? This is Alex from Computer Headquarters. I hope you guys enjoyed that little nerdy intro. I've got a little checklist here on the side so I don't forget anything, and I've got some topics I want to touch on today. Hopefully my mic is a little bit louder. I had some comments on some of my previous videos that you guys weren't able to hear me. I listened to the video myself and I could hear it fine, but everyone's setup is different, so hopefully I turn up the gain a little bit and you can hear me a little bit better. Anyway, likely launch date for Diablo 3 is currently being pegged at February 24th, which is obviously a Friday. It's always a Friday. It's always at 5 p.m. I've heard people say that know what they're talking about more than me even, that it's like 90-something% chance it's going to be that Friday the 24th. And the only reason why they're not saying 100% chance is because of some possible changes that they're trying to implement before the patch launches. We'll talk about those changes later in this video, but I would just pretty much bet on it being the 24th, and if it's not, it's probably going to be the 3rd, the following Friday. I think I said that correctly, the 3rd, yep, the 3rd. That would be like the second best guess, and it probably wouldn't be any other date other than those. PTR is closed. The last day of the season has already been announced to be the same week as the 24th, so should be the 24th. All right, next up, solo versus group play for season 28. I've got a little chart. I like graphs. These are boring. I know my screen's boring right now. There's not graphics and cool stuff and Diablo going all over it, but this is just some data, and I'm going to try to speed through it a little bit so I won't bore you guys too much. But I just made this little chart about kind of the 4 different main ways that people are going to play. So number 1 is going to be, you're going to be playing by yourself, and you're going to be playing with the Challenge Rift cache. So the fastest way to do that is to start as a Necro, and you're starting as a Necro because they're so strong at low levels between level 1 and 18, because you're rushing to get to 18 so you can get 2 diamonds and to get no level requirements on the Altar of Rites. If you don't know what the Altar of Rites is, you'll have to go Google that or check out some other videos, but there's also a planner online. This is the website, hopefully I'm saying this right, coleco.github.io/s28 planner. You can go in there and click through this and read some of the things, but I would just watch someone's video like Raxander X or Woodegio or someone. Anyway, so you're rushing to get to level 18 so that you can get 2 diamonds, and the best way to do that is to kill Zoltan Cool. So you just open games, look for the bounty that says kill Zoltan Cool, and you want to open that bounty chest because that's where you're going to get some gems out of that chest at level 18. You don't want to just kill ZK, you want to kill him when there's a bounty for killing him. So, and you might have to kill him 2 or 3 times, and my findings are that bounty comes about 33% of the time. So if you have a group of 4, which I'm going to talk about later, you could just have everyone leave your group, independently make their own game, and then if you guys are in Discord, hopefully you say, okay, I got one, and everyone joins back up on that person's game. Anyway, so you're going to be the Necro, you're going to go get the cube. You should probably be playing on Torment 1 on your way, especially if you're playing softcore. I don't play hardcore, I'm not good enough for that. So all my advice is for softcore, and but yeah, play T1 the whole way through, even if you die a little bit. So are you getting the cube? There's a whole bunch of other things that you should look into, like some weapons to build from the blacksmith before you even go get the cube. I think people will say like the first axe, the first dagger, the first sword, and the second sword, or something like that. But don't worry about that so much. You're gonna just be destroying everything anyway. You might even want to play in T2 if you have the cache, because then you can have those weapons. You know what I forgot to add here is that at level 11, you might want to go back to town and get the staff from the Enchantress. That's like a whole nother story, but you're hearing me say this now. If you want to be overpowered at level 11, never talk to the Enchantress until you're level 11. Go talk to her, then steal her weapon. It'll be 38 DPS, which is insanely high for level 11. It'll help you blast even faster. So you got your Necro, you went and got your cube. If you didn't get to 18 when you got your cube, then you're probably going to want to go to Temple of the Firstborn and just do some kill streak chains just to try to get to level 18. You get to 18, you find ZKs, you just re-roll the game until you get ZK. You could also do Magda. I just like doing ZK. I'll wait because I like how simple it is. And you kill the ZK until you get diamonds, and then when you get the 2 diamonds, you get to go unlock the Altar of Rites item here, which is no item level requirement. That's also assuming, some people forget this, but actually, sorry, I'm gonna come back to what I was about to say on my next chart here. But at that point that you have the diamonds, you have the no level requirements, you restart with it. You just go break a brand new character. Let's say you wanted to play Demon Hunter, you would make your level 1 Demon Hunter, but now that Demon Hunter can wear any level 70 gear. You can just go craft anything you want, right? So You'll have all this money, you'll have all these mats to do like pretty much anything you want, and you're gonna have the best, easiest leveling experience you've ever had in any season ever. So you still can get you can take your blood shards and make things even easier, and you can roll, say, if you're a monk, you might want Crutus boots. If you're a DH, shoot, I'm trying to remember what the DH thing was. It was might have been bracers or something. I think, yeah, bracers. That's another. You can just look up leveling guides. There's always something for a class. The Orc's Crown is always great. You can just roll helms. That gives you a little extra XP boost. And then you can also make your legendary weapon. And usually what you're used to doing is putting your legendary weapon into the cube. But this season, I say wear it. I haven't really been hearing other people say that. A lot of people are saying to cube the power, but I say wear the legendary weapon. And don't even bother cubing it, but that's up to you. But honestly, you're just gonna blast everything. That's why I have blast. You just turn it to T6, and you just destroy everything. You'll level extremely fast. You'll be level 70 within an hour, in my opinion. Even if you're not a great player. And you might have to crank the difficulty down as you get to closer to 70, but you should be wearing full 70 gear with a legendary weapon possibly, and some other nice things, and maybe some things in your cube. Will be great. Now, the next version of solo is without the cache, and I call this Dark Souls, because if you've ever played Dark Souls, it's a great game for the right people that like have the certain personality like me, and Dark Souls is all about losing and dying over and over again and suffering. And when you win, it feels better than you'd feel in other games when you win. It's such a better victory when you finally get the victory, because you tried and worked so much harder for it. So you should still probably do the Necro thing. You should do a T1 bounty. I put GL, good luck, because I tried doing one myself and I failed. I was not able to do it. I was on hardcore, just doing some testing, and I didn't play well enough, and I died, and my character was wiped, and I couldn't do it again. So I watched Rax Anorax do it today. He did it. He's a much better player than I am, and I may have been doing something stupid with my skill. Maybe I didn't put some skills together, and he did, and maybe he had some better gear that he got lucky with. But go ahead and give it a shot. If you can get that T1 bounty done, though, you get the Death's Breath out of the bounty, and you get 160,000 gold, and that will set you up for crafting a level 70 weapon when you get to level 18, when you're going to go do the same thing. You're going to ZK, you're going to kill ZK to get the diamonds, and then you can go back and start your actual character if you want to. But I will say this, even if you do get your Death's Breath, and even if you get the 160,000 gold, you are still going to be running short on materials, whether that is just getting, this is what I was going to say earlier, and I said, I'm going to come back to that. Just getting the no level requirements requires 15 arcane dust and 20 reusable parts. Getting the 15 arcane dust isn't just a walk in the park. I did a dry run on the PTR, and I didn't have 15 arcane dust when I got to level 18. And I was picking everything up. So, you could get lucky and maybe you got more blues than I did. You could get unlucky and you got way less than me. But that's just something you have to take into account, is that you may be low on arcane dust. And then even if you do have enough arcane dust, when you get to 18, you get the diamonds, you get all this stuff. Are you going to have enough veiled crystals to even craft a 70 weapon? Because what you want to do is craft that 70 weapon right as fast as you can. So hopefully you get, you might have to grind it out. You might have to even go to Battlefields of Eternity and grind whites to turn them in the cube into yellows, but then that means you have to go get the cube. So that's a whole nother thing. It could, for the certain type of player that's not super experienced, that's not using a million different tricks, it might take you 3 hours, honestly. And that might be fun for you, so that's fine. But I put Suffer on here instead of Blast, because it's going to be much more difficult. Rax did it today in about 1 hour, and he's a very skilled player, and he did pretty much everything right, and he did it with Necro the whole way through. So and I think he's done runs around an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, if he actually switched to another class after he did the Necro to 18. So that's I would consider him a professional. A regular casual player that's trying to do this, you just shouldn't do it. And I would do it. I would think it's fun personally, but I like Dark Souls. So anyway, moving on. Group group with cash, let's just say you're playing with more people and you're going to use your cash. It's pretty similar to what I said by yourself, but I put up the try. If you're a tryhard, you can do the necro trick I said before. But if you're playing with other people and like everyone's using the cash, you guys are pretty casual, it's not as big of a deal to start necro. You can save time, yes, but if you're not trying to set records and you're just trying to chill, don't bother doing the necro thing. But if you want to go fast, then go do the necro thing. But you're going to still go get your cube, you're going to do the ZK thing, you're going to start your actual character, you're going to roll your blood shards, you're going to do everything the same, and you're going to just go insanely fast. Now, what if you're in a group, the last thing here, which is, this is going to be me. What if you're in a group and you don't want to use your cash because you want to try to do the whole altar of rites in that weekend before Monday shows up? But some other people in your group are going to be using the cash. So what I didn't add on here, I could make a whole group is not using the cash. That's a whole other thing. I'm not going to talk about that. You can figure that. If you're that good and your whole group's that good, you don't need me to tell you. So if you're without the cash, you might want to do the tryhard thing with the necro. You don't need to. You're going to just tag along with all of your buddies that did use their cash. You're going to go with them to go get the cube. You're going to do the ZK farming for the diamond just with them. You're going to start your actual character if you did the necro thing. And then when you hit 18 though, your friends that have all this money and resources, they're going to drop you a level 70 weapon and maybe some more stuff, but mainly they're going to drop you that level 70 weapon so that you can blast with them. You're not going to have the legendary weapon. You're not going to have any legendary helms and bracers and gloves and boots things that you normally would want to have from the cache that you'd use roll blood shards on, but you're going to have a level 70 weapon at level 18. You're going to be fine, okay? You're going to have a fun time. Your friends are going to help carry you. You're going to be able to pick up stuff along the way and salvage it and keep building more parts. And when you get to 61 is when things are starting to actually get a little bit harder. You're also going to start getting the ROS gear that drops on the ground, and you're going to start getting Death's Breath so that you can actually level your blacksmith up to that last tier. You're going to be picking up a lot more gold. Things are going to be fine, and you're probably going to be done still within an hour and a half, depending on how serious your team is. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing my buddies are going to be using the cache, at least 2 of them, and I'm not going to use the cache, and mainly because I'm a Dark Souls guy and I like this idea of trying to do the whole altar of rites over the weekend. I probably won't be able to do it realistically. I've got 2 kids on that Saturday after, assuming it's the 24th, the day after that on that Saturday, I have like 3 soccer games for my 2 kids, a baseball game, and like a birthday party or something, and my sister's visiting. So I'm not going to get back to my computer from the night before. I'm going to go to bed crazy late, probably 4 a.m, but I'm probably not going to get back to my computer until 8 or 9 o'clock at night to blast again. So but I might be able to do it. So in any case, we talked about the solo versus group timeline game plan. I had my buddy Danny's going to play with me this time. He's a really good friend. I play Smite with him all the time. Great player, amazing gamer, way better at gaming than I am. Regular PoE player, and he's jumping in with myself and a couple of my other buddies, and we're really stoked to have him. But he hasn't played Diablo in many years, so he said, like, realistically, like, how long is this stuff going to take? And I started trying to map it out for him. So I made this little spreadsheet that kind of goes over a timeline of what I think we're going to be doing for that weekend. So, and this is kind of, it's not quite perfect world. I think it's somewhat realistic. So the game launches at 5. Hopefully by 6:30 we're level 70. I think realistically it could be 6 o'clock. But things could go wrong. The challenge rift could be very difficult. We could have, a player on the challenge rift in our group could just be struggling with that class, and we might be failing it over and over again. What if we went a half an hour in the challenge rift, and then it might still take us an hour to get to 70, but that could be an hour and a half, right? We might get the challenge rift done in 10 minutes. That's what usually happens for me. And then we'll probably be done in an hour and 10 minutes. But also, I'm adding some time. People are going to go to the bathroom. People are going to get hungry. People are going to lose focus. Someone's wife is going to say something, whatever. I don't know. We're going to, most of us are going to be in my LAN center thing that I showed you, though. So we'll have our pizza and our drinks and everything that ready to go. Okay, then the next thing we got to do is Hadrig's Gift. So that will be from 6:30. I think it'll probably take us 2 hours. I might be underestimating that because that's one that I haven't done since last season, and I don't remember how long it takes, but I have had that feeling where, wow, it took forever to do my Hadrix. I also put a little thing on the side here, like these activities that are just things that we're going to have to do. Some of them we're going to do them to accomplish things on the altar of rites. Other times we're just doing what we are going to do anyway, and it does just happen to accomplish things on the altar of rites. So Hadrix basically gets the 3 and 4 things on the altar of rites completed for us. Next up, we're going to be doing bounties after Hadrix, mostly because we're probably going to want a Ring of Royal Grandeur. We're going to want some of the mats for some things we need from the bounties, and then also because there's a lot of things on the altar of rites that are bounty related. So I have 3 things here that are bounty related, and I think I even have bounties doing them again at some point. I can't remember, but anyway, so this is, I put only half an hour on here, but realistically we're gonna have to do more, I think. So then Hellfire keys from 9 to 10, that accomplishes the 6th thing on the altar of rites. I think some people haven't really planned this out. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna get there, but in their head they're thinking they're gonna do the same thing they always do, which is they would do level 70 Hadrix, and then they would not do bounties, they would not do Hellfire keys, they would not do kill Malthael, they would just go straight to rifting. They'd be running rifts and then running greater rifts, and that's what they would be doing all night, just farming greater rifts and getting their Paragon levels. So everyone's going to have to do a little bit different this time if you want to progress on the altar of rites, and you do want to progress because these powers are amazing. So as fast as level 6, you have to have 1 Leoric's Regret, 1 Vial of Putridness, 1 Idol of Terror, and 1 Heart of Fright. And those are things you get from doing the, what is it, the Ubers or whatever? I'm probably forgetting the name of it. What did I have written down here? Hellfire keys. Yeah, whatever. The Ubers or whatever they are. So you have to get those from killing those guys, and at some point, you have to also have a Ancient Hellfire Amulet. So you're gonna have to do those guys anyway, right? So they kind of go together. So I figured we'll probably be spending an hour doing that. Maybe we're gonna be spending more. I don't know. We might spend 3 hours doing Hellfire keys. I have no idea. I hope we don't. But some of these things, you might start it and you might finish it the next day. Sometimes you just get a little bit burned out, and we might start doing Hellfire keys like, let's just do GRs. We're getting bored of this. So then we also need to kill Malthael. That's easy. I put 15 minutes. It's probably way faster. We just need to kill him to get the Reaper's Wrap recipe, because Reaper's Wrap is number 7. So you have to make a Reaper's Wrap and give it to the altar. So next up, I figured by the time we've done these things, we're probably just gonna want to farm GRs like all night, because a lot of the things that you need to do are GR related. So Forgotten Souls, so you're gonna get those from farming GRs. I think you get something like 10 or 11 or 12 legendaries dropping on average per Greater Rift. So 30 Forgotten Souls is nothing, no big deal. You'll get that in very quickly, very, very quickly. 1100 blood shards, you'll get that very, very quickly. The Flawless Royal Ruby, 20 Death's Breaths, Ring of Royal Grandeur, those are things that you're going to get from bounties. The next thing, same thing, bounty mats, bounties. Greater Rift keys, Lada Ding Dong's gift. You're just going to get the Lada Ding Dong from doing GRs. They'll just drop eventually. That's the way to get it. So just do rifts, and then eventually you get it. Might be on Saturday though. It might not happen on Friday night. 1300 blood shards, same as 1100. Just gonna keep bumping up your GR level, and the higher your GR level is, the more blood shards you can carry. Some people have not factored this in their brain. They're thinking 1300 blood shards, no big deal. But you might not remember that you can't hold 1300 blood shards until you're, I can't remember, Greater Rift 100 or something. Maybe it's 90. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know that 1600 blood shards is 110. So 1300 blood shards is 100 or 90 or 80. I don't know what it is. But you can't carry that many. You have to be able to carry that many to give them, or you wouldn't be able to give them. Some people don't think about it that way. They're thinking, oh yeah, I just get 600 from this run and 600 from another one. Whatever, and I can put those together. No, you can't put them together. You have to give them away at one time. Petrified Scream will just drop. Challenge Rift Cache, that's where your hangup's going to be. If you give it away, you should give it away. Most people should. If you're not a weirdo like me, Dark Souls, I keep saying Dark Souls. If you're not a Dark Souls guy like me, use your Challenge Rift Cache. 250 for on souls. That's not that many. It sounds like a lot, but you're going to be, if you're rifting for hours, running GRs, you're going to get 250 easy. 1,400 blood shards again. So now you're going to get all the way to 17, not counting the Challenger of Cash, pretty easily. And then you get to the Ancient Hellfire Amulet. That is not going to be very fun. You're probably going to have to make one and then re-roll it in the cube over and over again. So you're going to need a lot of bounty mats, but you're going to gave your bounty mats away. It's a little bit, that one's not going to be fun. I'll just say it that way. That's going to be one of the worst on the entire list. And that brings us to never-ending questions. And I don't think I really need to get finished going through Saturday and Sunday. It's pretty much all just talking about farming GRs and doing other things that will get this stuff done. So I might as well move on to number 4. Oh gosh, my numbers got off here. Number 5 on my to-do list for this video, which is never-ending questions. My favorite Diablo 3 streamer, who I've mentioned like 12 times already in this video, Rax Antarax, has already been very clear that he was in a conference call, a serious business conference call with Blizzard, talking specifically about the never-ending questions, and that they have scrapped the never-ending questions. They pretty much said that from day one of the PTR, and he has said that the thing that has replaced it will require you to have, I think, equipped 4 full sets of gear. Now, does that mean that you could have 5 pieces and be wearing a Ring of Royal Grandeur, and it's just basically like a checkbox that you put it on, and theoretically we're wearing it? Does it mean it just needs to be in your inventory, but you do need all 6 pieces? Or does it mean that you actually have to beat 4 set dungeons? I really, really hope it doesn't have anything to do with set dungeons, because I hate set dungeons. And I don't think it does, because Rax Antarax also hates set dungeons. He thinks they're ridiculous. And if he heard that you had to beat 4 of them, I think he would have been scowling when he said about all this thing about wearing 4 sets. So, finding 4 sets is not impossible over the weekend. You can do it, especially if you're just grinding GRs like crazy. So, never-ending questions. That is now 4 full sets. I'm not going to really go any more on the Altar of Rites. The Staff of Hurting is going to be annoying. Whisper of Atonement's easy. Pretty much everything else on here is going to be easy. And you guys can figure out all that stuff. And the Rax has made a whole video about the Staff of Hurting. Go check that out if you need to figure that out. It's just farming a bunch of materials. It's not going to be fun to do it, but you got to do it. So, moving on to the next thing is Crusader Witch Doctor changes. They have not been announced. We're only like a week away, possibly. Where are we? We're the 15th. Possibly next week is going to be the new season, and they haven't said a word. I think that's a little weird, but I also don't remember how they did it the last 27 times. But apparently, from the same guy Rax, who was in this meeting with Blizzard, they asked, what are people saying? What are the complaints and stuff? And Witch Doctor and Crusader not getting any love, because they literally got no love. It was crazy. The people, he mentioned people would probably, not him specifically, but other people would probably feel a lot better if they gave them a little bit of love, and made some positive changes for this patch. And apparently they said they would, but then I heard Woody also say that they would, but then I also heard them say maybe they won't. Maybe they have full intentions of doing it, but they don't have time to do it. So we'll see. But I think I just want to highlight one really important thing, which would make the whole world happy. Crusader auto lightning from season 27. I played the Crusader that does the auto lightning last season. It was like a sanctified item. Was that what it was called? I don't remember. Sanctified power. It was amazing. It was so fun. It was the best key farmer in the game, in my opinion. There's a lot of great key farmers out there. There's a DH build that's really great for it too, but the most fun was just jumping on your horse and just riding all around and raining lightning from the sky. It was great. All they need to do is build that into the legendary, the set. I'm forgetting the name. I don't play Crusader much either. There's a flail and a shield you wear if you're doing a pony build, and they give you extra stuff to the steed charge damage or whatever. I can't remember all the things, but just build that auto lightning thing into that set as one of the bonuses for wearing the 2 pieces. That simple, just do that. It'll make everyone happy. All they need to do is do that. Maybe do something little for the witch doctors. I don't care about witch doctors. I don't like. I've given them chances a million times. I not like the class. Anyway, moving along. Diablo 4 conspiracy. So I watch Filthy Casual sometimes, another YouTuber talks about Diablo stuff. I heard him say the same exact thought that I had the other day that I said out loud to one of my coworkers. Are they not giving Witch Doctor and Crusader any love because they're not in Diablo 4 and it's a marketing move? And so I literally made a chart of all the Diablo games. I didn't put Diablo Immortal, sorry. In the classes and to look at similarities and what and just see it in data. So we've always had a barbarian, we had the warrior in D1. We've always had a bow person, we had a rogue, we had a Amazon, a DH, and a rogue again. Same thing, right? We had a magic person, a sorceress, a sorcerer, a sorceress, a wizard, and now a sorcerer. I don't remember what they're calling it, if it's an S or I think you can go male or female this time on D4. We've had a necromancer from D2, D3, and D4. And we had a druid in D2, which kind of became a monk, I guess. I don't know if you want to say it that way. And then we're going back to the druid in D4. And we had a knight person in D2, which was the paladin. We had a knight person, which was the crusader in D3. And I'm sure most people would agree that the paladin was way better than the crusader. And there's this rumor that there is actually going to be some sort of a crusader or paladin in D4, and it's not been announced to the public yet. Could be an expansion pack for the future. It could just be at launch, surprise, here's the paladin. But there was some artwork that was released at one point that showed some sort of a paladin looking character and was quickly removed from the internet later. And then we had the assassin in D2 and the witch doctor in D3. But basically, if the witch doctor is not going to be in D4, there's no reason to think the witch doctor will be. Is that part of why they're not getting any love? I don't know, but that's what I was thinking. What do you guys think? That's like exactly the type of stuff I'd love to hear comments from you guys about. But I'd love to hear all your comments, especially about the things I got wrong. Anyway, so closing thoughts here. What a time to be a Diablo player. There are 4 different active versions of Diablo going right now. We've got Diablo 2 Resurrected, we have Diablo 3, we have Diablo 4 about to come out, and we have Diablo Immortal, which I mentioned already. I don't like it, but I think a lot of people would have gave it a better chance if it wasn't so monetized. And but yeah, I think it's pretty fun. I was a huge Diablo 1 player when I was like, I don't know, 12 years old. I played on PlayStation 1, I think. My buddy had it on his PC, and we'd play it in his parents' room. Like, this is a long time ago, so PCs were like, you didn't have one. Like, a lot of houses didn't even have a computer, and their computer was in their parents' room because they would I think they did some work from home or something at some point there. So we would play in there and have all the windows closed, so it's completely dark. And I remember being pretty scared as like a 12-year-old, and it was great. I loved it. And then D2, oh my gosh, I don't know how many hours of D2 I played. It was insane. I played D2 from like sometime in high school all the way into college. D3, I did not like at first, was not a fan of it. And man, they just really turned that game around. I know a lot of people got a bad taste in their mouth from the beginning of D3 when the auction house was there and it was so hard to play. And I told you I like hard games, but it just didn't feel realistic. Like, it didn't feel how would I say it? Like Dark Souls, if you just try over and over again, you're gonna eventually learn it better and play better, and you'll beat it. But Diablo requires the gear, and like it was just like you weren't getting the gear to progress unless you paid money. So I hated it, and then I don't remember how or when I came back to D3, but when I started playing Seasons, it just really brought me back big time. And I never would have thought I'd be a person that would like something like that, with like, oh yeah, I could sit down on my computer at 5 o'clock, I'm pumped and ready to go. I would say it's kind of a joke, I got my Doritos and my Red Bull ready to go here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to D4. So I hope you guys are too. I hope some of you guys out there have also been playing, guys and gals have been playing for many years and just kind of have a lot of good memories and stuff. So hope you enjoyed the video, and looking forward to hearing from you guys in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.